Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue the topic of polymers. Yesterday we have discussed about classification of based on source, classification of based on structure, classification of based on mode of polymerization we have seen. Next classification of polymers we have, that is based on molecular forces. Based on molecular forces, these polymers we have classified into four types. The first type of classification, that is elastomers. Elastomers are, in that word itself, having the meaning elastic property, right? So these are rubber-like solids with elastic properties. In these elastomeric polymers, the polymer chains are held together by the weakest intermolecular forces. Weakest intermolecular forces. These weak binding forces permit the polymer to be stretched. A few cross links are introduced. See that here these weak binding forces permit polymer to be stretched. So we can stretch that polymer. A few cross links are introduced in between the chains, which help the polymer to retract to its original position after the force is released. As how we have a rubber is stretched. In the similar manner, it will stretch. After releasing the force, again it will come back to its original position, like how rubber is having the property. In the similar manner, these elastomers are having the same property, students, right? So after the force is released as in vulcanized rubber. So what are the examples of these elastomers? Means we have Buna and neoprene. These preparation methods we are going to discuss in this chapter. Next classification based on molecular force, that is fibers. Elastomers are rubber-like solids. Fibers are thread-like solids, thread-forming solids. So which possess high tensile strength and high modules, right? They contain strong intermolecular forces like a hydrogen bond or dipole-dipole interactions are present in case of fibers. So these strong forces also lead to close packing of chains and thus impart crystalline nature, these fibers, right? In these fibers, what type of intermolecular forces are present? Very strong intermolecular forces are present, like a hydrogen bond or a dipole-dipole interactions, right? Yes. So what are the examples of fibers? In fibers, examples are polyamides. Polyamides we can also call as nylon 66, and polyesters. Polyester we can also call as terylene, etc. These are the best examples. This terylene preparation, nylon 66 preparation, already we have seen nylon 66 preparation. Terylene preparation we will discuss in this chapter. Next classification based on molecular force, that is thermoplastic polymers, students. So elastomers we have seen and fibers also we have seen. Elastomers are rubber-like solids and weak intermolecular forces are present between the polymer molecules, right? Fibers are thread-like solids which contains strong intermolecular forces. And coming to the topic, that is thermoplastic polymers, these are the linear or slightly branched long chain molecules capable of repeatedly softening on heating. On heating, these thermoplastic polymers becomes soft, and on cooling these becomes hard, hardening on cooling. So these polymers possess intermolecular forces of attraction intermediate between elastomers and fibers. That means what, students? Here thermoplastic polymers having the intermolecular forces greater than elastomers and lesser than fibers, because in fibers what type of intermolecular forces are present? Strong intermolecular forces are present. In elastomers, weak intermolecular forces are present. But in thermoplastic polymers, these forces are intermediate between these elastomers and fibers. That means greater than elastomers and lesser than fibers. Whatever the forces are present in these thermoplastic polymers, students, right? Yes. What are the examples of these thermoplastic polymers? Means we have the examples. Polythene already we have seen. How do we prepare polythene? Polythene is the best example for thermoplastic polymer. Polythene, polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride, Teflon. These preparation methods we will see in this chapter, right? Polystyrene means styrene molecules. If you take many molecules and combining many molecules of styrene molecules undergo polymerization and it gives polystyrene. And in the similar manner, polyvinyl chloride. So many vinyl chloride molecules undergo polymerization and it gives polyvinyl chloride. Teflon preparation also we will see in this chapter, students. Teflon means tetrafluoroethylene molecule will undergo polymerization. Many molecules of Teflon will undergo, that means what? Tetrafluoroethylene molecule undergo polymerization and it produce Teflon. Teflon is polymer. What is the monomer of Teflon? Means tetrafluoroethene, that we will see in this chapter, students. Next type of classification based on molecular force, that is thermosetting polymers. These polymers are cross-linked or heavily branched molecules. Thermosetting polymers are cross-linked or heavily branched molecules which on heating undergo extensive cross-linking. Means more cross-linkings are taking place in case of thermosetting polymers in molds and again become infusible. These cannot reused, right? These are infusible, right? So these thermosetting polymers, examples if you observe, we have bakelite. This bakelite preparation we will see, this is very hard. Urea formaldehyde resin, this preparation also we will see that, students. Urea formaldehyde resin and bakelite preparation we will see. These are the classification of polymers based on molecular forces. What we have discussed? We have discussed what? Elastomers, fibers, thermoplastic polymers and thermosetting polymers. We have discussed main points, right? And the next topic we have, that is addition polymerization or chain growth polymerization. What is this addition polymerization? Already we have discussed. So this addition polymerization is also called as what? Chain growth polymerization. How it is, we will see that now, students. Let us see in this type of polymerization, the molecules of the same monomer or different monomers add together on a large scale to form a polymer. That means what? It may be same monomer or different monomers will add one by one and it produce a long chain polymer, right? Yes, that already we have discussed in the case of ethene in the preparation of nylon 6,6, right? The monomers used for unsaturated compounds. What are the monomers we have to use? That monomer should contain at least double bond or a triple bond. Already we have discussed, right? In case of alkenes and alkynes. But in our chapter we have only alkenes and alkadines only, students, right? So the monomers used are unsaturated compounds. We have those examples also given. What are that means? Alkenes, alkadines and their derivatives. The derivatives also we have taken. Right? What are that preparations we will see by taking this? How do we prepare addition polymerization? Chain growth polymerization we will see now. So now this mode of polymerization leading to an increase in chain length or chain growth can take place through the formation of either free radicals or ionic species. See that this mode of polymerization, whatever the addition polymerization we have, that chain growth polymerization we have, that will take place either free radical mechanism or ionic species mechanism, but free radical governed, see that here. However, the free radical governed addition or chain growth polymerization is the most common mode. Which is the most common mode among free radical and ionic species? Means free radical mechanism is the most common mode we are going to apply in this addition polymerization. Why it is most common mode? Why you have taken chain growth polymerization only the common mode? Means there is a reason, because we are going to take either double bond or a triple bond molecules. In this double bond or triple bond molecules, that unsaturation is present between the carbon atoms. Between the carbon atoms means carbon atoms are having the same electronegative character. Same electronegative character means the pi bond cannot shift any of the carbon atom. So we have to cleave the bond by homolytic fission. By homolytic fission, what you will get, students? Free radicals you will get. So that's why free radical mechanism is the most common method in case of addition polymerization. So what is this free radical mechanism? We are going to discuss now in this topic, right? So now free radical mechanism. A variety of alkenes or alkadienes and their derivatives are polymerized in the presence of free radical generating initiator. See that. Free radical generator initiator we have called as what here? Catalyst. What is the catalyst we have used means like benzoyl peroxide, acetyl peroxide, tertiary butyl peroxide. Any one peroxide you can take, it will act as catalyst. This will initiate the reaction. This catalyst will initiate the reaction. How it will initiate the reaction also we will see that, students. In this mechanism, one of the mechanism we have taken example. You see that. What is that means? The polymerization of ethene to polythene. Already we have discussed how ethene molecule will polymerize and it will produce polythene polymer, right? So already we have discussed this preparation. But this preparation will take place via free radical mechanism. That mechanism we did not discuss. We are going to discuss now the mechanism of polymerization of ethene to polythene. It consists of heating or exposing to light a mixture of ethene with a small amount of benzoyl peroxide initiator. What is this benzoyl peroxide here? It will act as catalyst. Benzoyl peroxide, it will act as catalyst. It will initiate the mechanism. So what is the mechanism involved in this means? It involves mainly in 3 steps. So here benzoyl peroxide is an initiator. So in the first step, we have to take benzoyl peroxide only. So first step is what? Chain initiating step or chain initiation. What is this chain initiation, students? You see that here. When a mixture of ethene and small amount of benzoyl peroxide is exposed to light. See that. When a mixture of ethene and small amount of benzoyl peroxide is exposed to light, then what will happen here? Let us take benzoyl peroxide formula is this. What is that? C6H5, C double bond O, C double bond O, C6H5. Whenever it is exposed to light, what will happen means here free radical mechanism will take place. How it is means here breaking of bond is taking place between this oxygen and this oxygen. Then automatically what happens here? Shifting of an electrons will take place like this. Here bond is formed between 2 electrons by the formation of how bond will form because of 2 electrons involvement. Sigma bond will form, right? So here shifting of an electron, one electron will take place to this oxygen, shifting of another electron will take place to this electron, this oxygen. So here oxygen will get a free radical and this oxygen also will get free radical, students. Correct or not? So after breaking off this bond will broken. Whenever this bond broken, then what will happen here? C6H5, C double bond O free radical is generated. Correct or not? Like that, how many are there? 2 moles are there, right? So when a mixture of ethene and a small amount of benzoyl peroxide is exposed to light, the process starts with the addition of phenyl free radical formed by the peroxide to the double bonded ethene. That means what here they are telling means first benzoyl free radical you will get. Whatever the free radical we have got here, that is benzoyl free radical. What is this, students? Benzoyl free radical. Benzoyl free radical we have got. Here benzoyl, in this benzoyl free radical, if you observe, there is a bond present between this C6H5 and the C double bond O, right? Yes. This bond will broken. This bond will broken and whenever the bond broken, here free radical will generate. Where free radical will generate? Here on this carbon free radical is generating, and also on this carbon in phenyl free radical will form. So here this free radical and this oxygen is having free radical now. These two will combine and it liberate in the form of carbon dioxide gas, students. Here C double bond O, C double bond O will form. We know already the structure of CO2, right? C double bond O, C double bond O. And whatever the radical is generated, that radical is what here? C6H5 phenyl radical, right? This phenyl radical is formed. Now, this phenyl radical will initiate the reaction. How it will initiate the reaction? You see that now. So, here if you observe already phenyl free radical we have got. This phenyl free radical will combine with this ethene molecule. How it will combine? In ethene molecule there is a pi bond. This pi bond will broken here. And if you break the pi bond, then what will happen? Here shifting of an electrons will take place like this. That means what? Here free radical will generate. Then automatically what will happen? This free radical and this side carbon free radical will combine and it produce C6H5 bond CH2. Here bond will generate, right? Yes. As it is, this CH2 free radical will get like this, students. Okay, now C6H5 CH2 free radical you have got. That means what? This is initiation step, chain initiation step. In chain initiation step, benzoyl peroxide will act as a catalyst and it will initiate the reaction. How it will initiate the reaction means it will produce phenyl free radical. Phenyl free radical is more active and it will combine with the ethene molecule like this. Right? It will combine with the ethene molecule and it produce somewhat bigger free radical than phenyl. C6H5CH2 free radical you will get in chain initiation step, students. Next step in this free radical mechanism we have, that is chain propagation step. What is the chain propagation step? You can observe here. Chain propagation step. In the chain propagation step, the free radical reacts with another free radical. That means whatever the free radical we have got in the chain initiation step, that free radical will react with another free radical of ethene. See that in the chain initiation step we have got this free radical, right? C6H5CH2 free radical. That will react with another molecule of CH2, that is ethene molecule. CH2 double bond CH2. Here how the reaction will take place? The same thing. Free radical mechanism na pi bond will broken and here free radical will generate. This free radical will combine and it produce CH2 bond, right? And again single bond is there as it is, that you can take. Here CH2 free radical will generate. So like this somewhat bigger molecules, bigger free radicals you will get. See that the free radical reacts with another molecule of ethene to form bigger sized free radical. Bigger sized free radical we have got. This repetition, the repetition of this sequence, that means what? To this free radical you can add one more ethene molecule. What is the meaning of polymerization of ethene? While adding many number of ethene molecules, they will undergo polymerization and it produce polyethene. The same concept we are going to apply here. So the repetition of this sequence with a new and bigger radicals carries the reaction forward. That means what? This bigger free radical, to this bigger free radical, if you add one more ethene molecule, again it will join like this. CH2 single bond CH2. How we have got here? In the similar manner, here CH2 single bond CH2 you will get. Again if you add one more molecule, again one more CH2 bond will generate. So like that, if you add n number of CH2, n molecules of CH2, n moles of CH2 double bond CH2, ethene molecules if you add, then what will happen here? Like this, n times you will get. N times a repeated unit this is. So like this chain propagation will take place, students. And the similar manner here chain termination. What is the meaning of termination? In that word itself having the meaning termination. That means what? Whatever the free radical we have got in the chain propagation, that molecules, if you take two molecules, these two end carbons, whatever the end carbon we have the free radical, that free radical and another same molecule of free radical will combine. End part will combine and it produce polythene. Polythene product, polymer product will get, students. So you may ask a question here, this is not looking like polythene, no sir. Yes, C6H5 is there this side is also C6H5 is there. How we can consider as a polythene, sir? Here C6H5 free radical came from what? Catalyst. C6H5 free radical came from catalyst, which is called as what here? Benzoyl peroxide, right? So catalyst just it will initiate the reaction. It will not involve in the product formation. So whenever we have got these polythene molecules, this total is polythene only. CH2 repeating unit, whenever we have got that, we can take as what? A polythene. Because this molecule came from ethene molecule. Correct or not? So this is polythene. So whatever the C6H5 end side C6H5 is there, that we can remove it easily. Right, students? So this is polythene product you will get in the chain termination step. So this is the mechanism, free radical mechanism involved in the case of what? Polymerization of ethene to polythene, students. I hope everybody understood. In this what we have discussed, mainly chain initiation step. By chain initiation step, first phenyl free radical is generated. That phenyl free radical reacts with ethene and it produces C6H5CH2 free radical. And then next we have taken chain propagation step. In that chain propagation step, whatever the free radical we have got in the initiation step, that will combine with another molecule of ethene and it produces bigger sized free radical. And if you add still some more molecules of ethene, then you will get bigger free radicals, carries the reaction forward in the propagation step. In the termination step, whatever the free radical we have got in the chain propagation, that free radical molecules, if you take two molecules, the end carbon free radicals will combine this free radical and this free radical and it gives total polymer product. Right? This is polythene. This total is polythene after removal of these phenyl groups. Okay, na? Why these phenyl groups are there, sir? These phenyl groups came from catalyst. From what? Benzoyl peroxide, students. So you know what is the nature of a catalyst. Okay? This is the mechanism involved. Next topic we have, that is preparation of some important addition polymers. In that first one is polythene preparation. Already we have discussed how do we prepare polythene from ethene molecules. In this polythene we have two types of polythenes. One is low density polythene and other one is high density polythene. What is low density polythene and high density polythene we are going to discuss, students. Low density polythene we can also represent with LDPE. LDPE is the low density polythene. How do we prepare this low density polythene? It is obtained by the polymerization of ethene molecules. See that polymerization of ethene molecules means I have taken n moles of ethene molecules, undergo polymerization and it produce what? Polythene. Already this preparation we have seen, right? So it is obtained by the polymerization of ethene under high pressure of 1000 to 2000 atmosphere. 1000 to 2000 atmosphere at a temperature of 350 Kelvin to 570 Kelvin in the presence of traces of dioxygen or peroxide catalyst. So here dioxygen we have taken or peroxide, any peroxide you can take as a catalyst. So compulsory we have to take the catalyst and we have to maintain the conditions. Those are pressure is what? 1500 to 2000 atmosphere pressure we have to use, and at a temperature 350 to 570 Kelvin. At these conditions only, whatever the polythene we have got from ethene, that polythene is a low density polythene, students. Right? What is the condition means? This is the condition. So what are the properties of this low density polythene? Low density polythene is chemically inert. Chemically inert means this is what this polythene possesses all single bonds only. So alkanes are chemically inert, you know already that, right? So is chemically inert and tough and flexible, this low density polythene. It is a poor conductor of electricity. It is a poor conductor of electricity. Then what is the use of this low density polythene? Means it is used as insulator for electrical wires, students. This is the use of what? Low density polythene. And also it is used in the manufacture of squeeze bottles, toys and flexible pipes, right? Yes, this is about what? Low density polythene. And coming to the topic, that is high density polythene. High density polythene is represented with what? HDPE. That is what? HDPE is nothing but high density polythene. Then how do we prepare this high density polythene? Low density polythene already we have discussed. See that reaction will be same only, but only conditions are different. At different conditions, different type of polythene you will get, right? Here what are the conditions we have to maintain? Means the conditions are, it is prepared by the addition or polymerization of ethene in a hydrocarbon solvent, any hydrocarbon solvent, in the presence of Ziegler-Natta catalyst. What is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst? Here we will see that. Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Ziegler-Natta catalyst. What is the catalyst here we used? Ziegler-Natta catalyst. So what is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst composition? Means it is the mixture of titanium chloride, TiCl4, plus triethyl aluminum. What is this? Triethyl aluminum. Aluminium C2H5 taken thrice. Aluminum. This is what? Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Ziegler-Natta catalyst composition is what? It is the mixture of titanium tetrachloride and triethyl aluminum, which is called as what? Ziegler-Natta catalyst. That catalyst we have to take at a temperature of 333 Kelvin to 343 Kelvin. 333 Kelvin to 343 Kelvin under a pressure of 6 to 7 atmosphere, students. Right? At this condition, what will happen here? This CH2 double bond CH2 double bond CH2. N moles of CH2 double bond CH2 will polymerize. At what conditions? We have to maintain 6 to 7 atmosphere. 6 to 7 atmosphere condition and 333 to 343 Kelvin. These conditions you should write on reaction. Along with that, we have to take Ziegler-Natta catalyst, that is titanium chloride plus triethyl aluminum. Triethyl aluminum, students. Triethyl aluminum. Ziegler-Natta catalyst if you use, at these conditions, ethene molecule will polymerize and it produce polythene. And it will produce what? Polythene like this. This is the polythene preparation. The same preparation only already we have discussed in the case of LDPE. LDPE also same only reaction, reactant product is same only, but the conditions are different. At these conditions you will get what? HDPE. At different conditions, what condition we have maintained in case of HDPE? This is the condition. At this condition if you will get LDPE, and at this condition you will get what? HDPE, students. Then what is the use of this HDPE? What are the properties of HDPE? We will see that now. So what are the properties of HDPE? HDPE has linear structure and has high density. High density, it is chemically inert because this is also having the same single bonds only, right? It is chemically inert and more tough and hard. This is hard. That is what? Flexible. We know already that. Now what are the uses of this HDPE? It is used for manufacturing buckets, dustbins, bottles, pipes, etc. HDPE, high density polythene, because this is hard na. So because of that reason, this will HDPE is used in water buckets, dustbins, bottles, pipes. These are somewhat strong than what LDPE, whatever the items they have prepared, right? So we know already that. Next preparation method we have, what are the preparation methods we have? Means polytetrafluoroethene. Polytetrafluoroethene, also called as what? Teflon. polytetrafluoroethene is also called Teflon. So in that word itself having the meaning poly means many tetrafluoroethene molecules will combine, will polymerize, and it produce what? Teflon. It is manufactured by heating tetrafluoroethene with a free radical or persulfate catalyst at high pressures. So how do we prepare this? We will see that now, students. So let us take now here tetrafluoroethene. What is tetrafluoroethene? Tetrafluoroethene, if you take, that is, ethene means C double bond C compulsory, right? Tetrafluoro, here on this carbon 2 fluorine atoms, on this carbon I have taken 2 fluorine atoms. Now this will comes under what? Tetrafluoroethene. This tetrafluoroethene here I have used by heating tetrafluoroethene with a free radical or persulfate catalyst at a high pressure. So high pressure we have to use, high pressure, right? And what we have to use? Peroxide catalyst we have to use, students. Peroxide catalyst we have to use. At this condition, N moles of this tetrafluoroethene molecules will undergo polymerization and it produce what? CF, here F, here F, F, here like this single bond, right? How do you get this this type of polymer, Teflon, sir? Teflon is nothing but what? Polytetrafluoroethene molecules. How do we get this one? You have a doubt, I think. You see that here fluorine, carbon-carbon double bond will cleavage. Here free radical will generate. Then if you add one more molecule of tetrafluoroethene, again one more free radical. That we will see now, students. Let us take now. Here if you observe in this C double bond C, F, tetrafluoroethene I have taken. One more molecule I am taking, C double bond C, F, tetrafluoroethene I have taken. Here free radical mechanism. That means what? Carbon-carbon pi bond will broken. Here free radical will generate. Here also carbon-carbon pi bond will broken. Here free radical will generate. This free radical combines with this free radical and it produces what? A CC bond here. Again this free radical will combine with another molecule of tetrafluoroethene. Then it will produce what? Single bond. So see that here free radical will combine with another free radical of another carbon atom of this side carbon atom of tetrafluoroethene. So that's why here single bond I left. Here you see that single bond I left. Here also I kept a single bond. That means what? This single bond formation taking place now here. Pi bond broken means single bond only left. Here also pi bond broken means single bond only left. That means here single bond is present between these. Again here single bond will generate. Like that how many times it will generate means N molecules we have taken. So N times we will get. So this is what? A Teflon. Polytetrafluoroethene molecule, students. Like this we will see some more preparations in the next class. Then what are the uses of this polytetrafluoroethene? We will see that. It is used in making oil seals and gaskets. It is used in making oil seals and gaskets. It is used for non-stick surface coated utensils, students. Next topic we have, that is polyacrylonitrile. That preparation we will see in the next class, students. Thank you.